Columbia's $220 million Trump deal. Unprecedented higher education settlement. This story might just change the way you think about universities and political power forever. Columbia University has signed a groundbreaking $220 million agreement with former President Donald Trump, raising questions the entire higher education world can't ignore. Just how far should a university go to resolve conflict with government forces? And this is the part most people missed. The ripple effects of this deal might reshape college campuses across the nation for better or worse. Washington, D.C. In an unprecedented move, Columbia University has finalized a sweeping 22-page deal with Donald Trump, one that stands apart from anything previously seen between an American university and federal authorities. This isn't just another campus controversy. It's a settlement that touches every corner of Columbia. Admissions policies, academic departments, campus safety, and even hiring practices have all come under scrutiny, and now drastic changes are demanded. Why did Columbia agree to such dramatic terms? Since March, the university has found itself under immense federal pressure. Trump and his administration accused Columbia of breaking federal laws, claims that triggered the suspension of hundreds of millions of dollars in research funding and spawned a wave of federal investigations. Access to financial aid for students was at risk, threatening the university's reputation and ability to serve its community. But here's where it gets controversial. By agreeing to these terms, did Columbia simply ensure its survival? Or has it set a precedent that other schools will be pressured to follow? For the first time, we now see an exact price for making peace with a powerful presidential administration, and administration that hasn't exactly hidden its skepticism, if not outright hostility toward elite universities, especially those seen as wealthy or exclusive. The settlement didn't come cheap. To resolve disputes over funding, Columbia agreed to a staggering $200 million penalty. In addition, another $21 million was specifically allocated for university employees who said they were harmed or discriminated against during campus protests, particularly those surrounding the Israel-Hamas conflict, which has ignited strong reactions nationwide. It's the kind of financial concession rarely seen in university history. University President Claire Shipman acknowledged the daunting challenge in a CNN interview after the announcement. This was an incredibly complicated situation, but I will repeat time and again, choosing to engage to try and solve this, even when the stakes are enormous, isn't the same as surrender. Her words point to a dilemma at the heart of American higher education. When do compromise and dialogue become capitulation? Meanwhile, President Trump and Education Secretary Linda McMahon have celebrated the agreement as a victory for conservative grievances about the academic world, hailing it as a playbook for future negotiations with other universities that can find themselves under similar scrutiny. McMahon stated, Columbia's actions serve as a model for other elite institutions hoping to win back the trust of the public by realigning with the values of truth, merit, and open debate. I fully expect these changes, which could influence the campus culture nationwide for years ahead. And here's a bold question for you. Has Columbia safeguarded academic freedom? Or have they signaled that elite universities will have to bend to government demands to survive? Are these reforms a necessary course correction or a dangerous surrender of institutional independence? Let's open the floor. Do you agree with how Columbia handled the situation, or do you believe they crossed the line? Should elite universities ever have to pay such steep penalties to satisfy federal officials? What does this mean for the future of campus politics and academic freedom? Jump into the comments. Your perspective could be the one that shapes the next chapter of this debate. Reporters Zachary Shermel for USA Today, graphics Veronica Bravo. Concerns over Trump administration settlements with Columbia and CBS. The Hill. Could the recent actions of the Trump administration be alarming? This is a question worth considering, especially in light of former Senator Jeff Flake, RR's comments on Wednesday regarding settlements involving Columbia University and CBS. On this day, Columbia University made headlines by agreeing to pay a staggering $221 million to the Trump administration, a move designed to help the university regain access to essential federal funding. Meanwhile, Paramount Global, the parent company of CBS, reached a $16 million settlement related to editorial choices made during an interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris on the program 60 Minutes earlier this month. The implications of these settlements raise important questions about influence and autonomy in academia and media. During his appearance on CNN's Newsnight with Abby Phillip, Flake expressed serious concerns about the ramifications of these agreements, stating, "I think all of us should be concerned where this goes." His apprehension lies in the potential for any president, whether it be Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or any future leader, to dictate what constitutes truth or what universities must do to attract international students. This could set a dangerous precedent as it intertwines education and the political agenda. Columbia's acting president, Claire Shipman, defended the settlement, claiming it was necessary to maintain the institution's independence and restore funding stability after experiencing what she described as a period of institutional uncertainty. However, Flake countered that the influence exerted by the White House may be extending beyond acceptable limits. He expressed concerns about the nature of these agreements, noting that they seem to impose directives on educational institutions, media organizations, and even law firms. In Flake's view, this situation is problematic, suggesting that some legal firms feel pressured to comply with demands lest they risk scrutiny or exclusion. He remarked, "This has gone too far in many areas, particularly with the law firms, basically telling them they've got to pay up or pony up, or they're going to be investigated or left aside." The debate around these settlements is far from settled, raising significant questions about the intersection of politics and public institutions. Can we really trust our leaders not to manipulate truth and funding for their own ends? As these discussions unfold, it invites commentary. What do you think? Are these agreements the reasonable means for university and media companies to secure their interests? Or do they pose a threat to independence? How do you feel the public's trust in educational and media institutions will be affected? Join the conversation and share your thoughts.